Hello from Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan, and I'm starting here in the center of the old city, the main square, the Hazrati Imam complex, which has the mosque, a library with one of the oldest versions of the Quran, and it was originally built beside the first Imam of Tashkent, just behind the trees there. I'm going to walk around a little bit and explore the main sites of Tashkent in this video, including the Chorsu Bazaar a bit later on. One of the first things that you need to take a look at here is inside the Muyi Mubarak library, which contains the Samarkand Kufic Quran, which at one point was believed to be the oldest Quran in existence. However, recently researchers discovered that actually it dates to around the 8th or 9th century, and it's not as old as some of the others. You can still go inside and take a look at one of the most historical Qurans, the oldest certainly in Uzbekistan. It's 50,000 som to enter, and you can't take any pictures or videos inside, which is why I'm showing you a picture from the internet of what the Quran looks like. So now let's take a look inside the Hazrati Imam Mosque. The minarets here are huge, 54 meters high. So I'm now inside the mosque. This is the view here. The dome from the interior is very impressive. As I was about to enter, a guy came up to me, which I half expected as I read this online, and he was like, no, and I knew he was going to ask me for money. He whips out his phone and tries to translate from Russian to English, saying, without paying you cannot enter the mosque. And I just say to him in English, the mosque is free. All mosques are pretty much free apart from very seldom, but then the price is clear and you know beforehand, like Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, for example. I just said the mosque is free, ignored him and went inside, and as soon as I went inside he disappeared. He didn't shout at me or stop me, which tells me that he was indeed trying to just take advantage of me being a tourist and grab money off me. So a little bit of a sour note there. I hope that they work on that here, but inside the mosque here is impressive, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the more spectacular ones in Samarkand and Bukhara later. So coming out of the mosque at the other end of the square there, here is a building with an amazing facade, the first of its type that I've seen, although sadly inside it's no longer a mausoleum, it is just gift shops with touristy stuff. So we're going to find the original mausoleum of the scholar and religious figure who this square was originally built beside. So I just came out the mausoleum there. What a great experience. Sometimes when you enter these places, especially mausoleums, sensitive religious places, I'm always a bit wary about filming, but the people in there were so lovely, and even this local Uzbek woman who didn't speak any English. I don't speak much Russian, and I was saying, Kaffal Shashi, I don't see the tomb, where is he? And she's like, oh, come with me. And then she took me back into the main room, and his tomb is right there by the window. And there's no sign in English, it's all in Cyrillic Russian, so I wasn't able to locate it. But she was very sweet, and she gave me a hug and blessed me at the end of our interaction, which was lovely, although I didn't capture it on camera. So now I'm going to head to somewhere a little bit more lively. We're going to see a lot more historical buildings and history, mosques and mausoleums and that kind of thing in the other cities of Uzbekistan as I head further west. But now we're going to head to Chorsu Bazaar, where it will be lively, the markets and the food and the atmosphere of Old Town Tashkent. Before I head in my Yandex to the bazaar, look at the size of this building which is in progress. It is enormous. It's going to be the Islamic Civilization Center, and it is kind of a wonder of modern Uzbek architecture, I would say, in their classic style. It's sealed off. You can't get close to the entrance, but you can see they're probably not too far off completion. It's going to be pretty spectacular inside. Once it's complete, it dwarfs the size of everything else in this square. A quick Yandex journey and I'm now here outside Chorsu Bazaar. You can see the green dome of the indoor market just behind there, and this is Tashkent's largest market. It spills onto the streets around it too, so I'm not really sure where it begins and ends, but let's have a wander. I can see the Uzbek bread from here, known as non or lepeshka, cooked in a clay oven. Assalamu alaikum. Until it comes out nice and crispy. Looks so good. So I'm assuming that this must be the way. A great place to people watch, get a sense of the locals who come here for their everyday shopping, whether it's for tea or spices or fresh fruits and vegetables. Dried fruits and nuts there. I'm looking for a way in. I think it might be a right turn here at some point. Let's try the steps. This might be the best way. Huge indoor area here. Mountains of spices. Vegetables and chilies. This looks like the dome I was talking about. There it is in all its glory. Let's head inside, see what it's like. Wow, what an atmosphere. So a couple of things about Chorsu Bazaar. You need to be able to speak a bit of Russian because haggling is the way, bartering is the norm, and so if you don't want to get ripped off, you'll need to master your skills in that department, although you will require a bit of Russian to do so, as most people in here, I'm told, don't speak English, and that seems to be the case just by observing and talking to one or two here and there. From upstairs, what a view from this quite intricate, unique looking indoor market. It's quite beautiful actually, seeing how it forms a perfect circle in the center there, gradually going outwards up to the rooftop section here. Wow. What do you call this? This one, what's this called? The name?
Bu bize özümüze
Yeah.
meyvemiz. Özüm östürüp, özüm yetiştirip.
Okay.
Sevgi meyvesi de ataladı.
He's filming me with this fruit. Honestly, I don't know what this is. I can't recognize it. Maybe I'm an idiot. Let me know in the comments below. I love how the guy's filming me. He wants to show his stall. Here it is. It's very good. Looks good. Looks like a very local food center as part of the bazaar area. Salam. Shashlik there on the grill. Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum. Chili khanim nega.
Whoa.
Ba Uzbekishka bluda khanim
You see the
yetta.
chilies in there.
Yetta khanim. Sami atishni khanim. Вот, пожалуйста.
I'm not quite sure what dish it is. Looks amazing though. I still don't know what it is, but that lady was so friendly that I decided to sit down and try this dish, which looks like a big kind of Munti style dumpling. Exactly that. It's like one huge piece of ravioli garnished with onions. So I just finished the food there inside the bazaar, and turns out there was no meat inside that. It was just almost like the skin of a dumpling or munti in a tomato sauce. You saw the chilies there, the woman showed me, and yet it wasn't spicy at all. Chorsu Bazaar is really lively and a great slice of local life here in Tashkent. I recommend that you stop by there and check it out while you're here in the capital. So just before the sun sets here in the autumn, I have made my way over to Amir Timur Square, which is pretty much the center of the city. A lot of the main roads lead from here in each direction. In the center of the square is a statue of Amir Timur, one of the most famous rulers of this region under the Timurid dynasty. And this square was part of the plans of the ex-president Karimov in 2010 to beautify the city. It is quite nice to walk around today, lots of benches and the yellowing trees here in the autumn. Amir Timur was a Turko-Mongol conqueror who founded the Timurid Empire in the 14th century, which stretched to an area which encompasses modern-day Central Asia, Iran, and Afghanistan. As an undefeated commander, he's widely regarded as one of the greatest military leaders in history. Perhaps in the West he doesn't get the same attention as others, but here in Central Asia and this region he is remembered. But he also has the reputation of being one of the most brutal and deadly in history. Hello, good evening from somewhere in the center of Tashkent. I just had my dinner in a well-known Uzbek restaurant, modern with lots of choice. I wanted to try a few different things. I went for the urga chicken soup to begin with, which is oily, buttery, homemade noodles, very wholesome and hearty. On the side I had some samsa, which is pretty much a Uzbek version of a samosa with meat inside. I also had munti, which is a dumpling dish. Finally, I had some Tashkent tea with everything. Tashkent tea is known for being a mix of black and green tea, including lemon, honey and mint. It's got quite a sweet flavour, and I finished a whole pot to myself, which is why I'm able to talk faster than my usual amount right now. Tomorrow morning I have an early train at 8 AM taking me to Samarkand. So stay tuned for the next video here in Uzbekistan, and I'll see you then. Cheers!